Think about the last time you ate a banana. Maybe this morning with your coffee. Maybe you grabbed one on the way out the door as a quick snack. Maybe you sliced one into your oatmeal, mashed it into a smoothie, or just peeled it without giving it a single thought. Bananas are so ordinary, so cheap, so reliably present in every grocery store on Earth that most people treat them as background noise in their diet. They're the ultimate convenience fruit, always there, always yellow, always ready. And that is exactly the point, because behind that ordinary yellow fruit is one of the most extraordinary logistics operations in all of global food production, a story of vast industrial-scale plantations, back-breaking manual labor in brutal heat, precise ripening science that borders on magic, and a cold chain so tightly controlled that the banana's casual presence on your kitchen counter feels almost miraculous. The world produces over 100 million tons of bananas every single year. It is by far the most exported fruit on the planet, and almost nobody who picks one up at the store has any idea how it actually made the journey from a tropical farm to that perfectly yellow piece of fruit sitting on their counter. Today, we are going inside that story. Let's go. Bananas are grown in over 130 countries across the tropical belt, that warm, humid band of land between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, where temperatures never drop below what the plant needs to survive. The leading export producers are Ecuador, the Philippines, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Guatemala. Ecuador alone accounts for roughly 30% of all globally exported bananas, an extraordinary concentration that makes it the single most important country in the world for the fruit sitting in your kitchen right now. India grows the most bananas overall, but almost all of it stays inside the country for domestic consumption. The bananas that travel internationally and end up in supermarkets across North America, Europe, and East Asia come overwhelmingly from the great commercial plantations of Latin America and Southeast Asia. The global banana export trade is worth over $10 billion annually. Here's what blows most people's minds when they first learn about bananas. The plant isn't even a tree. That thick, sturdy-looking trunk you see in every plantation photograph, it's not wood at all. It's a pseudostem, hundreds of tightly packed leaf bases compressed so hard they feel and look solid. No bark, no true wood, just layer after layer of leaf material. And the entire plant is basically an annual. It grows for 9 to 12 months, produces one single bunch, then gets cut down completely. The next generation doesn't come from the same plant continuing to fruit. It comes from suckers, new shoots that burst up from the underground rhizome like the plant is constantly regenerating itself. So what looks like a permanent forest of standing banana plants is actually a non-stop cycle of birth, harvest, and replacement that never stops. The commercial banana varieties that dominate global trade, primarily the Cavendish, which makes up over 95% of all exported bananas worldwide, are grown from tissue culture propagules or from suckers carefully taken from healthy mother plants. They're planted in precise rows with exact spacing that balances sunlight, airflow, and efficient field management. The soil must be rich, well-draining, and consistently moist. Banana plants are extraordinarily heavy feeders. A productive plantation consumes enormous quantities of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, the three key nutrients that drive the explosive growth and large bunch development that the commercial market demands. Irrigation on these large operations is sophisticated and continuous because the massive leaves transpire huge volumes of water every day. Even 1 week of water stress during fruit development can shrink bunch weight and shorten the fingers in ways that directly cut into revenue for that entire cycle. After planting, it takes 9 to 12 months before the first bunch appears. The process begins when a large, dramatic purple flower bud emerges from the top of the pseudostem and hangs downward. It opens row by row, revealing the individual flowers that will eventually become bananas. Each row develops into what producers call a hand, a tight cluster of bananas. Multiple hands stacked together form the full bunch. As the bunch grows and the fingers start filling with starch, managers make critical decisions. They thin out the smallest hands at the bottom so the rest can grow to full market size. They slip a perforated blue polyethylene bag over the entire bunch to protect the fruit from insects, birds, and bruising from leaves, while also creating a slightly warmer microclimate that speeds up development. And they sometimes tie supporting strings from the bunch to the pseudostem or overhead wires so the sheer weight doesn't topple the plant. Crazy, right? A single mature bunch of commercial Cavendish bananas can weigh between 30 and 60 kilograms, and the entire plant holding it is made of nothing but compressed leaves. Harvest on a large commercial banana plantation is a continuous, highly coordinated operation that literally never fully stops. Because different plants are at different stages of development at any given moment, there is always something ready to cut. Harvest crews work on a rolling schedule, moving through the fields day after day. It takes 2 people working in perfect sync. The cutter uses a long curved knife to slash through the pseudostem just below the bunch, causing the whole plant to begin toppling. The second worker, called the catcher or bailero, stands ready to catch the entire heavy bunch on a padded shoulder pad the moment it falls, never letting it touch the ground or brush against anything that could bruise the delicate fruit. From there, the bunch is carried on the catcher's shoulder across uneven tropical ground to an aerial ropeway system, a network of cables running above the plantation, where it's hooked and gently slides out of the field to the packing station at the edge of the plantation. Imagine carrying a 60-kilogram bunch of bananas balanced on your shoulder through uneven ground in 35-degree heat and 90% humidity, keeping it perfectly elevated and protected from any bump or bruise. That is the physical reality of commercial banana harvesting. Imagine doing that hour after hour, day after day, knowing that one wrong step or one moment of lost concentration can ruin an entire bunch and cost the farm money. That's the reality behind every banana you've ever eaten without a second thought. At the packing station, a purpose-built covered facility with fresh water systems and specialized equipment, the bunches are cut from the main stem into individual hands. Each hand is carefully trimmed to remove any damaged or undersized fingers. Then the hands move through a washing tank filled with water mixed with a fungicide that protects against crown rot, a devastating post-harvest disease that can destroy entire shipments during transport. After washing, trained inspectors examine every single hand for finger length, diameter, curvature, and freedom from surface blemishes. Only the hands that meet strict export-grade standards are packed into the standard 18-kilogram cardboard export boxes in a precise arrangement designed to cushion the fruit and minimize bruising on the long journey ahead. The packed boxes are palletized, moved into refrigerated pre-cooling rooms, and the temperature is carefully brought down to 13 to 14 degrees Celsius, the critical holding temperature for bananas. Drop them below 12 degrees and they suffer chilling injury that turns the skin gray and ruins the flavor. Keep them above 16 degrees and the ripening process begins too early. The entire industry operates inside a razor-thin 4-degree window between perfect and ruined. From the plantation, those refrigerated containers travel to major export ports. Guayaquil in Ecuador, Puerto Limon in Costa Rica, Davao in the Philippines, and are loaded onto specialized refrigerated cargo vessels for journeys that last 1 to 3 weeks depending on the destination. The ships maintain that exact 13 to 14 degree temperature the entire way across the ocean. When the bananas finally arrive at their destination ports, they are still green and firm. They go straight into massive ripening rooms at distribution centers and importers. Here, skilled ripening room operators raise the temperature and introduce controlled amounts of ethylene gas, the natural plant hormone that triggers ripening. Over the next 5 to 7 days, they carefully monitor and adjust temperature and gas levels to hit the exact color stage their retail buyers have ordered. A banana arriving at a supermarket distribution center at color stage 3, mostly green with yellow just starting to show, will be in your grocery cart 2 to 3 days later at stage 5 or 6, fully yellow with a few attractive brown spots. These operators are essentially reverse engineering the perfect banana for your kitchen counter from weeks away. The people behind this entire global banana industry are hundreds of thousands of plantation workers across Ecuador, Costa Rica, the Philippines, Colombia, Guatemala, and beyond. Men do the physically brutal harvesting and loading work in the fields, while women often handle the delicate sorting, grading, and packing at the stations. Many of these regions have long, difficult histories of labor conflict over wages, working conditions, and protection from pesticide exposure. In recent years, certified programs like Fairtrade and Rainforest Alliance have brought real improvements, minimum wages, better safety standards, and environmental protections. But the gap between the low price of a banana in a wealthy supermarket and the daily reality of the workers who produced it remains one of the starkest in all of global agriculture. And here's the part that should actually scare you. The Cavendish banana, the one almost the entire world eats, is under existential threat right now from a soil-borne fungus called tropical race 4, or TR4. This disease has already wiped out huge Cavendish plantations across Asia and has now been detected in Latin America, the source of most of the world's exported bananas. The last time a similar fungus struck in the 1950s, it completely destroyed the previous dominant variety, Gros Michel, forcing the entire global banana trade to switch to Cavendish almost overnight. History is repeating itself right now. Researchers worldwide are racing to develop TR4-resistant varieties, including through genetic modification, but no commercially viable replacement is ready at scale. On top of that, climate change is increasing the frequency and power of tropical storms that can flatten entire sections of plantations in hours, while intensive cultivation continues to put pressure on water resources and soil health. The banana sitting on your counter is far more fragile than it looks, not just the fruit itself, but the entire intricate system that produces it. The next time you pull a banana from a bunch on your kitchen counter, take a moment and really look at it. Think about what it took to get there. A pseudostem made of nothing but compressed leaves, growing a 60-kilogram bunch in just 12 months on a vast Ecuadorian plantation. A catcher taking that full weight on his shoulder in the burning tropical heat. A packing station operating inside a razor-thin 4-degree temperature window. A refrigerated ship crossing the ocean for 2 full weeks. A ripening room operator carefully timing ethylene gas so the banana reaches your store at the exact perfect stage of ripeness. And a worker you will never meet doing back-breaking labor for a wage you would never accept, feeding a market that barely knows he exists. If this video changed how you see that simple banana, smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm. Share it with someone who eats bananas every single day. And drop a comment below. What country are you in, and how much does a bunch of bananas cost where you live? Subscribe and turn on notifications for more hidden stories behind the world's most incredible foods. Next week, the surprising billion-dollar journey of chocolate from rainforest pod to your candy bar. See you then.